Chosen one, pause for a second. Before you pressed play, before your eyes landed on this message, something unseen was already moving pieces into place. This is not a coincidence. This is alignment. Your spirit recognized this before your mind did. There has been a quiet weight on your heart lately, a confusion you couldn't explain, a feeling of being misplaced, misunderstood, watched but not truly seen. You've been asking, why was I pulled away? Why did everything suddenly change? And heaven heard you. This message didn't stumble into your life. It was released for you at this exact moment because your soul was ready to remember what your environment tried to make you forget. And Chosen One, before we go deeper, pause for a moment, hit subscribe and comment if your spirit is already responding. Because this message is about speaking directly to you, not to entertain you, but to awaken something ancient and powerful within you. You see, what you went through wasn't rejection, it was extraction. You were living in a space that studied you, tested you, tried to decode your light. The silence, the tension, the sudden distance, the doors that closed without explanation, that wasn't chaos. That was the investigation. You were being observed by energies that could feel your purity but could never touch it. And instead of dimming you, the universe removed you, not to punish you, but to preserve you. Chosen one, your softness was never a flaw. Your empathy was never a weakness. Your inability to play dirty in a corrupted space wasn't naivety. It was spiritual integrity. That environment needed masks, hardness, compromise. You carried the truth without trying, light without force, and light doesn't survive long in places that thrive on shadow, unless it's protected. So you were pulled away before the contamination could reach your core. What felt like loss was mercy in disguise. What felt like abandonment was divine timing rearranging your path. Heaven saw what you couldn't yet see, that staying longer would have cost you your essence. So you were moved, quietly, swiftly, intentionally. Now lean in, chosen one, because what I'm about to reveal next will explain why your purity triggered the shift and what destiny has been preparing you for ever since. Chosen one, take a slow breath and settle into this moment. There is a reason your spirit feels both tired and alert as you listen right now. What you are about to hear is not new information. It is ancient recognition. Not every place you step into is neutral. Some spaces quietly nourish your soul, while others slowly drain it. Not through conflict or chaos, but through invisible misalignment. You didn't imagine it. You felt it, and that feeling was real. You see, there were days when you questioned your own strength. You wondered why your energy faded so quickly, why simple interactions felt heavy, why your spirit needed so much recovery time. But the chosen one, you were never exhausted because you were weak or doing too much. You were tired because the environment you stood in could not hold the frequency you carried. It asked you to dim, to compress, to constantly adjust, and your soul resisted that quietly, faithfully. Your body knew long before your mind could explain it. That tightness in your chest, that restlessness, that sense of being off even when everything looked fine on the surface. Those were not random sensations. That was intelligence, spiritual intelligence. Your nervous system was translating what your soul already understood. Have you noticed how your body reacts before your thoughts catch up? How it leans away from certain spaces without logic? That's not anxiety, that's awareness. Every environment carries a frequency, chosen one. Just like music, some spaces are in tune with you, and others are painfully off-key. When your inner vibration rises through healing, awareness, or purpose, environments that once felt familiar can suddenly feel suffocating. Not because they became worse, but because you evolved. Your light expanded and the room stayed the same. Can you feel how that explains so much of your confusion? That discomfort you tried to reason away, that whisper you kept ignoring, it was your soul speaking gently, not to frighten you, but to guide you. It was saying, this is not home, not as rejection, but as redirection. Home is not always a physical place. Sometimes it is an energetic agreement, And when that agreement breaks, your spirit will not pretend. So let me ask you, chosen one, where have you been forcing yourself to stay out of habit, loyalty, or fear? Where have you been explaining away heaviness that your soul has already named? What if your exhaustion was never a failure, but a signal, a sacred signal telling you it is time to move towards spaces that replenish you instead of reduce you? Stay with me, because now that you understand how environments carry invisible energies, the next truth will reveal why your presence disrupted that space and why your purity could never remain unnoticed. Chosen one, listen closely now, because this truth requires softness, not defense. Pure light never enters a room loudly. It doesn't demand attention or validation. It simply is. And yet darkness always notices it, not because you challenged anyone directly, not because you spoke too much or tried to stand out, but because your presence quietly revealed what others were still avoiding within themselves. That is how purity works. It exposes without effort. You may have wondered why the resistance you faced never came in obvious forms. No dramatic confrontations, no clear enemies. Instead, it arrived as misunderstanding, as being overlooked, as feeling strangely isolated even while surrounded by people. You sensed a shift in tone, a cooling of warmth, a distance that appeared without explanation. And you asked yourself, what did I do wrong? Chosen one, the answer is simple and unsettling. You did nothing wrong. You arrived aligned, and alignment unsettles what is unresolved. Your calm presence was not passive, it was disruptive. In a world accustomed to noise, chaos, and emotional reactivity, your steadiness became a mirror. People saw themselves more clearly around you, and not everyone was ready for that reflection. Your silence carried clarity, your boundaries carried truth, your peace highlighted imbalance, and instead of healing, some chose resistance. So they projected. They labeled you as distant, arrogant, naive, or different. They assigned intentions you never held. But projection is never about the receiver. It is about the discomfort of the sender. When your clarity made avoidance impossible, they redirected the tension outward. Have you noticed how often people reacted to you based on who they were, not who you actually are? Understand this deeply, chosen one. Resistance is not always aggression. Sometimes it is withdrawal, sometimes it is subtle exclusion, sometimes it is the quiet decision to keep you at a distance because your energy asks questions their soul isn't ready to answer. That is not rejection. That is self-protection, action on their part. And this is where peace returns to you. Because once you see it clearly, you no longer carry it personally. Resistance was never a verdict on your worth. It was evidence of energetic incompatibility. Two frequencies unable to coexist without discomfort. Just like light and shadow, not enemies, simply different states of awareness. So let me ask you, chosen one, where have you been trying to explain yourself to people who were never meant to understand you? Where have you been shrinking your light to reduce others' discomfort? What if the resistance you faced wasn't a warning to change, but confirmation that you are exactly as you should be? Stay with me, because next we will uncover why this pattern keeps repeating and why feeling out of place has always been a sign of your higher calling. Chosen one, if this feeling sounds familiar, it's because you've lived it more than once. Different rooms, different faces, different seasons of your life. Yet the same quiet sensation followed you everywhere. A subtle awareness that you were present but not rooted, included but not anchored. You tried to name it, to reason with it, to silence it, and still it returned. That repeating feeling of not belonging was not a flaw in you. It was a message you were meant to hear. Each time you entered a new space, you carried hope with you. You told yourself, maybe this is it. Maybe here, I'll finally fit. And for a moment it seemed possible, but then something inside you resisted, not loudly, not rebelliously, just a quiet refusal to shrink. You felt it when you tried to simplify your thoughts, soften your depth, or dilute your truth to match the room. Your spirit would tighten, your energy would pull back. Have you noticed how exhaustion followed every attempt to become smaller? So you turned inward and questioned yourself. You wondered if you were too sensitive, too intense, too different. You replayed conversations in your mind, searching for mistakes that justified the distance you felt. You asked, why does this keep happening to me? Chosen one, that question came from pain, but the answer comes from clarity. You were never the problem. You were the presence that didn't belong in places built for less depth. This pattern was not rejection. It was redirection wearing a heavy disguise. Each ending, each separation, each quiet realization that you did not belong was your spirit protecting its own expansion. Your soul knew that staying would require compromise, that fitting in would demand self-erasure, and your spirit refused to pay that price, even when your heart felt lonely. Think about it now. Every environment you outgrew could only hold a version of you that no longer existed. You evolved, and the space stayed the same. That mismatch creates discomfort, not because something is wrong, but because growth always outpaces familiarity. Can you feel how that reframes your past? Your spirit kept refusing environments that couldn't hold your depth. Not out of arrogance, but out of integrity. Depth requires room. Truth needs oxygen. Light needs space to expand. And when a place cannot offer that, your soul will quietly prepare an exit, even if your mind still wants to stay. So let me ask you, chosen one, where are you still trying to belong instead of allowing yourself to arrive? What if the place you've been searching for has been searching for you too? Stay with me, because the next truth will reveal why your removal was never abandonment. It was divine protection unfolding in perfect timing. Chosen one, let this part land gently, because it touches a tender place in your memory. The separation you experienced did not come with warnings or explanations. It arrived suddenly, almost shockingly. A door closed, a connection shifted, a chapter ended before you felt ready. Confusion followed, pain followed, and in the silence that came after, you may have asked yourself, why was this taken from me? But hear this now, with a softened heart. What felt like loss was not punishment. It was protection unfolding faster than your mind could understand. There were unseen hands at work long before the ending revealed itself. While you were trying to make sense of the present moment, the universe was already standing in your future, seeing what staying would have cost you. There were conversations you never had to endure, words that would have cut deeper than you know. There were compromises waiting that would have asked you to betray your own values slowly, quietly. And there were betrayals, subtle, accumulating, that never got the chance to touch you because you were moved in time. Can you feel the mercy in that now? The confusion you felt came from not having the full picture. You were standing too close to the canvas to see the pattern. What looked abrupt from your perspective was actually precise, timed, necessary. Your spirit was escorted out before disappointment hardened into bitterness, before loyalty turned into self-abandonment. The universe does not always explain itself in advance. It intervenes when the cost of staying becomes too high. Chosen one, what ended was never meant to end you. It was meant to end the version of your life that could not carry your next level of becoming. You were not discarded, you were released. Released from cycles that would have drained your joy, delayed your growth, and dulled your sensitivity. And yes, sensitivity matters. Your spirit matters. So much so that it was preserved rather than tested beyond repair. Think back now. If you had stayed longer, how much of yourself would you have had to silence? How many times would you have explained your pain instead of honoring it? Protection often feels like loss because it removes what your heart is still attached to. But attachment does not always mean alignment. The universe intervened gently, even if it felt harsh at first. It chose distance over damage. It chose separation over slow erosion. And it chose you. That is the part you must not forget. So let me ask you, chosen one, can you begin to trust endings that arrive without closure? Can you see now that what left your life did so because your spirit was too valuable to be worn down? Stay with me, because next we will uncover why preserving your softness was the true priority and why you were never meant to harden just to survive. Chosen one, Let this truth settle slowly because it runs counter to everything the world tried to teach you. You were never meant to harden in order to survive. The world often rewards sharp edges, emotional armor, and closed hearts. But your path was never designed around defense. Your design was different. You were shaped for depth, for feeling, for awareness. And somewhere along the way, you were made to believe that softness was a liability. It never was. It has always been your sacred strength. Your softness is not fragility. It is discernment. It is the ability to sense shifts before they are spoken, to feel truth beneath words, to recognize intention without explanation. Your intuition works because your heart remains open. The moment you harden, that signal dulls. That is why your spirit resisted environments that demanded you toughen up, become colder, or stop caring. Have you noticed how every time you tried to grow a thicker skin, something inside you quietly rebelled? Staying in those spaces would have required becoming someone you are not. You would have had to mute your empathy, second-guess your instincts, and normalize behaviors that never sat right with your soul. Adaptation, in that context, meant distortion. And heaven will never ask you to distort yourself just to belong. Instead of forcing you to adjust to misalignment, the universe chose preservation. It chose to protect what is rare rather than expose it to erosion. Chosen one, preservation does not always feel gentle. Sometimes it looks like separation. Sometimes it feels like loneliness. But look deeper. Your heart is still soft, still responsive, still capable of wonder and connection. That is not accidental. Many people survive by armoring their hearts and calling it strength. You were guided away so that your heart could remain open without being wounded beyond repair. Think about it now. What would have happened if you had stayed? How much numbness would have crept in slowly, disguised as maturity or realism? How much joy would you have sacrificed just to appear resilient? You were spared that fate. Heaven intervened not to make your life easier, but to keep your inner world intact. Your sensitivity is your instrument. Your compassion is your clarity. Your openness is what allows you to recognize truth, beauty, and alignment when it appears. And that is why you were protected, not because you couldn't handle the world, but because the world did not deserve to harden you. So let me ask you, chosen one, can you stop apologizing for your softness? Can you begin to honor it as the very thing that keeps you connected to your purpose? Stay with me, because next we will reveal where you truly belong and how recognition will feel effortless when you finally arrive. Chosen one, let your shoulders soften as you hear this, because this truth carries relief. There is a place that will not drain you, not because it demands nothing from you, but because it understands you. An environment that recognizes your energy the moment you arrive, not with suspicion or resistance, but with resonance. You have spent so long adjusting, translating, and holding yourself carefully that you forgot what it feels like to simply be. But that place exists, and it has always been part of your path. In that space, your presence will feel natural, not disruptive. You won't sense the need to shrink or soften your truth to keep others comfortable. Your silence will be respected. Your insight will be welcomed. Your depth will no longer be mistaken for intensity or distance. Instead, it will feel familiar, as though the room has been waiting for you. Have you noticed how rare it is to feel instantly understood without explanation? That is recognition, and it cannot be forced. Chosen one, in the place where you truly belong, you will not have to explain who you are. You won't be asked to justify your sensitivity or dilute your awareness. Your light will not threaten others because they will be operating from a similar frequency. Alignment creates ease. It removes the friction you once thought was normal. And ease does not mean stagnation. It means flow. You were never removed to be lost. You were moved to be aligned. Every separation, every ending, every moment of disorientation was repositioning. Like a compass correcting its direction, your life adjusted to bring you closer to where you can expand without resistance. What felt like wandering was actually fine-tuning. Can you feel how different that perspective is? When you arrive in that aligned space, whether it is a place, a purpose, or a community, your body will respond before your mind does. Your breath will deepen, your nervous system will relax, your spirit will finally exhale. No performance, no armor, no constant self-monitoring, just presence, just truth, just belonging. And that moment will not feel dramatic or loud. It will feel quiet, steady, and right. Like coming home after a long journey you didn't know how to end. You will recognize it not by excitement alone, but by peace. The kind of peace that doesn't require effort to maintain. So let me ask you, chosen one, are you willing to trust that what is meant for you will meet you without struggle? Can you allow yourself to believe that belonging doesn't require sacrifice, only alignment? Stay open because the truth is unfolding now. And everything that moved you away was only guiding you closer to where you were always meant to be.